fields. Agriculture is different because we are seasonal. And even though a lot of our pay rates are much about other comparable jobs that would be maybe entry-level jobs, it is seasonal, it is outside, the hours can be varied and unpredictable, and so it does create a whole set of problems that a lot of other industries don't have. So agriculture is unique from that issue. The other thing is that there seems to be just this mindset that being a farm worker is something to below a lot of folks' station. And yet, every one of us, what was on this plate today, a farm worker had to put that food there and got that food there. And that's across the entire United States. They depend upon what comes out of this valley at certain times of the year more than others. And so we need to make sure that we have workers that can work in the field. Lastly, we have challenges in our own segment. You would think all farmers are united. Last year I was talking to a farmer over in Fresno. And just to tell you how polarizing this issue can be, that farmer said, you know what, we ought to kick all those illegal aliens out of this country and lock up the border. And I said, really? Do you see who's out in your field picking your produce? Oh, I've been guaranteed they're all legal. No one knowingly hires somebody who's undocumented. But until we open our minds enough to know, to look out your field and be realistic enough to know that you have folks there that do not have access to good documentation. And when you hear those folks that say, well, you've got to go through the proper channels, there are no proper channels. And so we have the greatest opportunity today, and I'll just finish up by saying, if we don't grasp this opportunity in the next couple of months, it's gone probably for 7 years. We recently met with the White House staff and said, when does this need to be? When does this bill need to be out of the Congress? And certainly to hear the Congressman's viewpoint, he'll know more than me, but as we talked to the White House, they said, if we don't have something on the President's desk by August, it doesn't happen. With midterm elections coming along, and then after that, people start gearing up for the next presidential election, and whoever sits in the White House the next go-around, in the first term, they're not going to touch this politically charged issue. So folks, we are at a time when we should be able to solve this problem. Calmer minds need to sit down at the table. We need to put politics aside. We need to put regional differences aside, and we need to pass true immigration reform.
What it is, the strengthening of the border, and we're going to do that, and I can go into all the details if you want. By the way, I've gone that and traveled that entire border. You would have no idea how long it is. It's this distance from Salinas to Washington, D.C., from San Diego all the way through and then down the long reach down into the Gulf. It's not necessary to build a huge fence that we built through that entire border because there's just miles and hundreds of miles of just nothing out there. And there's very little crossings, but they are, we detect them. We have all kinds, every piece of sophisticated detection equipment there is on this planet is at the border. From satellites, spy planes, balloons, weather stuff, underground, off-road vehicles, horses, radar, everything. And thousands of employees. People still get through. They'll never find a better security for a 13-foot fence than a 14-foot ladder. But having said that, we still can do more. The second part is legalization of those that are here, and including what you do with the kids that are in school and were brought here without any intention of knowing what was happening, but are graduating from our high schools and not qualifying for scholarships to get into colleges. The president has, by executive order, allowed that for a temporary. This is the problem, it's temporary. So families, not necessarily the kids, I think the kids have grabbed any opportunity to be legit and be able to qualify for scholarships. But parents, some of them are a little concerned and saying, if you go down and apply for this, you got to give all the family history here, and then they got that history in the record, it's going to sunset, and then we'll all be on record as being undocumented, and then they're going to come after us. So it's the fear factor that what happens if you don't make this permanent. By the way, and that's an expensive permit. It's without any legal help, it's $640 just the fee for doing it, and we've got a record number of young kids applying for that. And legitimizing those families right now, the big emphasis is family unification. If you have legal residents who are citizens of this country, our first priority in allowing people to come in are our immediate family members. There's a debate on how immediate that definition should be.